It's happening. The intense calls for nerfs and balance are popping up everywhere you look when it comes to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or TCM for short. Now I know most of these suggestions do come from a good place. It's the DBD logic of balance the game to make it better. The problem is, and not even exclusively looking at DBD here, look at any competitive game, heavy balancing leads to less interesting and less fun gameplay. Before I go any further, I want to add some context to my perception of the game right now. Since TCM has come out, I've only played the family in solo queue. I haven't played Victim one time. However, I do spend a lot of my free time watching content creators who almost exclusively play Victim. Now, when the technical test, or beta as some call it, from months ago ended, I sent the devs a huge list of meaty balance changes I thought would make TCM better, which thankfully they largely ignored. I was still in that DBD mindset of, well, this isn't fair and this is a problem, blah 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 blah. I'm showing it here in the background if you want to see it. But thankfully my obsession with TCM after the beta led to watching any VODs or videos I could find of the game, and I saw so many people having different and varied experiences, having a total blast playing it. That's when it dawned on me that a lot of my balance changes would lead into that slippery slope of having a dull game. That's why I said in my last TCM video before the game even released that if you're the type of player that really cares about winning, you probably won't enjoy the game. Competitive players, DBD players especially, really like having a lot of control over the matches they play. They love to use sweaty builds and sweaty tactics, but TCM limits your individual control over a match. Even if you're the biggest Sweatlord family member this side of the Mississippi, victims, maybe not all, will still escape and vice versa. That's the way the game was intentionally designed. The mindset of nerfing things usually has more negatives than positives. With TCM, if the community is looking at valid criticisms that need to be addressed, we can't just put blinders on and say, nope, everything is perfect, the game has no issues, go away. However, we do need to think outside the box and always put fun in front of every change we're advocating for. Let's look at Connie as an example only. There's a lot of criticism that she ruins the pacing of the match, which leads to calls to nerf her ability to instantly break locks at the cost of her stamina bar being depleted. Now, Triad's already figured out that she can use a perk to negate the hindered effect completely, so basically that doesn't matter anymore either. So instead of just saying nerf her, make her ability less powerful, let's look at what the problem actually is. If Connie is able to burn through locks before the killers can even set up, the victims will escape before a match even really has a chance to start. That means the real problem here is a lack of interaction. So instead of nerfing her ability, let's brainstorm how to make her ability more interactive. How do we get the family members involved so it's not just a waste of a match and everybody's time? The first thing that comes to my mind is that she instantly breaks the lock, which would have to be loud. So maybe it could create a very loud noise notification for the family. Or maybe it could show the aura of her and the door. Drive interactivity, make it as fun as possible for both sides. Let me know your ideas in the comments as well. It could even be related to buffing Cook's padlocks or something too, as long as we avoid boring nerfs. On the flip side, there's a lot of complaints that Sissy is overpowered. Sissy has basically no utility outside of killing, and I've watched victim streams where they have advocated for nerfing her because she's too deadly if she's chasing you. But if she's deadly, what does that make the other family members? Do you only want family members who aren't deadly? Think about what you're actually asking for. Also, Sissy's poison effect is currently bugged where it affects each of her hits instead of just her first attack, and that has already been confirmed by the devs. So if that's the issue, that's more of a bug and has nothing to do with balance. Moving on, let's talk about two things that often get purposely conflated with balance talk: exploits and quality of life changes. Infinitely stunning another player has nothing to do with balance. It's an exploit. Even if you are the type of player to find it fun to do, you know in your true cringe soul that it is an exploit. Exploits should obviously be removed, and if you're above the age of 11, I really shouldn't have to explain why. The next thing is quality of life, meaning changes that just make the gameplay better without directly buffing or nerfing anything. For example, on Slaughterhouse, Cook and Hitchhiker both spawn near the generator. That means one of them has to spend literal minutes walking to the car battery on the other side of the map to turn it on and then walk back, whereas Sissy and Johnny both spawn near the battery. It's a problem on every map, so a great quality of life change would be to either allow family members to pick their starting locations or just have better spawn logic based on the team composition. So if in the future you have criticism of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, preface it by specifying what type of issue you have. Is it balance? Is it an exploit? Is it a bug? Or is it just quality of life? And if it is balance related, throw out your best ideas on how your balance change could lead to more fun interactive gameplay for all players. Because if we go down the gray road of nerf, overtuned, a pinch too strong, or whatever, it will just make the game boring. In the future, I think we'll probably need to discuss entitlement as well as my fun versus their fun subjects. But for now, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours, and as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.